Hi everyone, it's Carolyn here to share another channeled message from the Light Keepers, a group of angelic beings I channel for your awakening and ascension journey support. So this one's interesting. So today I actually went to just sit and meditate, and what had just occurred to me was, or I'd seen this somewhere, was that the blood moon, full moon, is the 25th. I think it lasts a day or two of May. Well, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, the full moon already. It seems like we just had a full moon. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, I could tell, it's almost like, it feels like you're going to give birth when you're ready to do a channel. And so what happened with me is I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like something's here to talk about with respect to the full moon. But I had no idea what it was. I hadn't even intended on doing a video right away. So needless to say, I sat down to what I thought was going to be meditate. Not at all. I have a full-blown channel for you. It's, I think, 3 pages. So this channel is interesting, and this is how my channeling has started to, I will just say, progress in a way where I've been able to do this both ways, but now what's happening is the information just coming through me, and I speak it out in narrative form, and I talk really fast. So this is also why I'm not doing these live, because the channeling comes out so fast, it's sometimes really hard to understand. So what I do is I record it, and then I go ahead and transcribe it, and then I read it back to you, which is what I'm going to do now. This is all my voice that you're going to hear, with the exception of a few places where I will make sure that as I talk back and forth with the Light Keepers, I will let you know that. So anyway, that's kind of how my channeling works sometimes. Sometimes it's the Light Keeper, sometimes it just flows right through me. And so thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Carolyn, I'm a channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor, here to offer you this information to assist you on your awakening and ascension journey. So what I always hope in these videos is that you take at least one little thing away for your journey that helps you kind of add to that whole puzzle of your soul journey, and particularly of this incarnation, and to help you understand more of what's really going on. So we've got a lot of energetic events coming up, but what this really talks about is this launching forward from, honestly, the full moon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this channel, which really kind of covers what's going on for the next few weeks, honestly, which I thought was interesting, because I usually do monthly energy updates, but every now and then there's something that comes up they want us to know about, and it really does kind of set the stage for moving forward. After, if you can believe it, the month of May is going to be closing out. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. And before I get started, make sure to check out the link below in the description box, where you can receive a video on how to create flow in your body for health and wellness. But what it leads you to is my weekly email, where I provide a channel for you from the Light Keepers for the week forward. I send them out typically on Fridays for the coming week. So I hope you'll join me there. And again, please like, share, and subscribe. That helps me do more of these videos and reach a wider audience. So again, thanks for joining me. All right, I'm going to read this and then have a few comments at the end, and then let you take what works for you in this video. So I start out and I say, okay, let's talk about the upcoming events. Let's do somewhat of an energy update. The full moon's very much in my awareness, which is really what guided me to do this. And then they say, so we say, the blood moon in your way will ignite more than you know in your day, for you will come into a knowing that something has shifted and changed for you. For this is a start. It is in this time of a greater awareness of others that something is changing in time. For you will be lifted up to a higher vibration in your day. It is a shift and a change coming again, too, for many of them have been back to back. You have felt it, and you know it, and this is what the year has meant for you in your day, particularly since the equinox that you experienced in March. And now you're headed into June, we say. This will kick it off, the last in the month of May, for when you will be ignited to a different vibration, a higher of you, and lifted up in time. It is true, for you have been doing your work and will continue to. For you will be ignited in passion for the things that you know are coming in your day. For humankind is rounding the corner too, but remember what you will see, for it is going to be the month of June. And then you'll find, as it enters in your way, more shift and change is coming. But this time, at the end of this month that has moved faster than you can imagine, for it is the full moon that will launch you forward into the new times and the extraordinary ways of change in humankind. So now I start in and I say, okay, so let's talk about this. Help show me what we can expect as a collective and as individuals. And then they showed me this visual. Okay, you're showing a launching off of a platform. It's like Superman with a cape. But I'm showing, oh, wait a minute, you're saying for those ready in time. And then they say, yes, for those who are not blind, opening their eyes and now see all around them of what they will no longer allow or what doesn't serve them, we say too. And I say, yes, exactly. So what you're indicating to me for some reason in this last week of May is setting the stage for June. For the summer to come is what you're saying. And the cape and the launching off. There's a lot of energy around this. So making our intentions, moving forward as the full moon comes. It's like we're that Superman launching off the ground with our cape and we're flying. Because we've let go of things that we've still been kind of holding on to, the small kernels of things that we haven't let go of, some of the dysfunctional ways of thinking that might still be there, even though we've worked on them now. Now we're never really fully done with this, but this is like that next stage, this next level, where we'll be moving into a greater awareness of who we truly are. And we're going to start flying higher. And that means frequency, vibration, what we choose to do in our journey, how we choose to reflect upon things, how we choose to see things. And again, this whole idea of moving into the higher dimension is not a place we end up in. It is a way we see life and how life sees us and what we experience because we are at a higher frequency. We are still on Earth, but we will experience things in a way that are very different than just being in the 3D version of life. But we will see it swirl around us. But the point is, we keep launching off at the next level. As you just said, leveling up. So what we'll have with this full moon is to have this opportunity to, oh, you just said make amends with yourself. What do you mean by that? Oh, okay, you just said to truly travel your journey. Oh, so is that why you're showing the cape? Oh, it's like flying off in a new direction? I think that's what you're saying. Oh, okay, you're saying change of course. Oh, it's what you set as the intention during the powerful month of May. Because May was about this kind of settling in, allowing things to gel, manifesting out what we want to see, being in that feeling of where we want to be in the future, seeing and allowing that to settle in May. Okay, so now you're showing me Lot's wife from the Bible. Wow, I kind of feel like I'm out of my body. Okay, so Lot's wife. All right, you're showing me representative of looking to the past, looking to the old ways, what's no longer serving us, looking to the tragedy and the awfulness and all the things that are happening in humankind, maybe wishing for the old days, and letting that pull you back in, which is why she turned to stone. It's a metaphor. So the point in that is we're launching off, moving away from what we're seeing of, wow, okay, wait a minute. I just keep seeing the foundation or the facade crumbling of our old earth. And so this is a very important time where as we strive not to turn into Lot's wife, which is, as you know, not digging deep into the ways of the old or trying to cling on to things that no longer serve us individually and then collectively, not looking into all of that is crumbling and is of the old 3D of what no longer we wish for or serves us. Because we have to see this. Because we have to see this, but we don't want to live in it. And so what's happening is that's all happening off to the side. Oh, you're kind of showing me like peripheral vision. Okay, so peripheral vision, you're seeing the old earth, but you're not focused on that. You're focused on what's in front of you. Your peripheral vision lets you see enough of it to understand and that you're moving away from this. Wow, what a metaphor. And this is the launching off from the full moon energies that are going to take us into the month of June, which then is what you're showing me. Okay, and we're going to do a June update at some point, but this is really showing being able to fly over what's to occur in June. We're going to fly over what's to occur in June. So again, this is about focus on what is in front of us. It's a great lifting up, having come through the month of May, because the month of May was this gelling of things of what serves you and is going to launch you off further. And I think many people, if they're starting now the awakening journey, they're shifting so fast. Like things are really crumbling in their awareness very fast compared to maybe some of us who came in earlier and started unfolding at more what I just call a regular pace. Ooh, now things are happening fast, and it can be a bit overwhelming. So what's going to happen with us, those of us who understand this journey, okay, you're talking about reverberation, the rocking of humankind, and more of the shift in awareness, awakening of many people going through the first stages of this. But we're going to feel the reverberations of it. It's going to knock off some of the rest, like leftovers that we have to deal with. But we're used to this. Those of us going through this journey, having been through this journey for a longer period of time, we're just a little more used to it. And this is a metaphor, but you're showing a rocking blast of awakening people, and then we're up above it, but we feel the reverberation. And the impact is going to be greater for people who have just started awakening, and these energies and these times with more coming their way. And it feels like the second wave, kind of just to make a point, is a large group of people coming along now, starting to come along now, particularly with as what we have coming up, but it's going to be fast. So what you're showing now is them running into us, kind of like the domino effect, but it's more like we're in the front and all of a sudden this second group runs so fast and they run right into us. And it almost feels like those of us who are first wavers may feel a little overwhelmed in how many people we are starting to realize are awakening. And we're going to want to try to assist and help. But we have to realize, oh, you just said stand in your energy. So the most important thing we can do is not do the human 3D thing where we might just give ourselves away, but to stand in our power and our energy, keep up our self-care, keep our work going, because I think what might happen is we might start seeing more family and friends and people that may just come into our awareness going through difficult times that may spark their awakening journey. We may be surprised at who's going through the awakening journey. And then what we're going to try to do, because a lot of us are empathic at this stage, is try to help. But then we don't want to lose ourselves. So we have to keep this in mind. So we have to stay grounded and stay in ourselves and stay in our life and not give that away. So be very aware of that as the mountains of people start coming our way in whatever way that means. And they may not know they are awakening, but you may just see the signs, and it means we just need to still stand in our power and not give ourselves away. It feels like some of them may be clamoring onto us. Okay, you just showed somebody who feels like they're drowning in the water, and you go out to rescue them as the lifeguard, and you get taken under too. So that's a really good metaphor for this. So this is something we want to be aware of. It's not about giving your energy fully away, because we're going to want to help. So those of us initially that have been going through this journey are going to be pulled to want to try and help. And absolutely we can. That's why we're here. But the way we help the most is to continue our journey forward and grow in our light. It doesn't mean ignoring people, but it also means having boundaries, all the things we've talked about in the past, and being able to help people travel their own journey and not become codependent in it. So it really feels like these energies coming in with next week's Blood Moon, you're really showing it launching us off. Kind of like Superman with a cape, launching off and flying. But what you don't want to do is get wrapped around your ankles and pulled back down. Being very aware of this, but at the same time, being that light, being that help, but not falling into a dysfunctional kind of relationship of trying to help somebody awakening because they have their own journey, because they have to travel their own journey. But it does feel like more people close to us may be experiencing this. I don't know how that will play out for you individually, but I am getting this across the collective. Oh, you just said new times to come. Yep. And I have chills. And so just as a note, when I get chills, it's an emphasis, real emphasis on something. And then I say, so the new times to come. Okay, you're saying the new times to come. This last week of May. Oh, you just said it is profound. Oh, now you're saying closing a chapter. So this is like closing out spring? Oh, okay, because we did see this. This makes sense. So this goes back to the videos that we did in the past 6 months. I think it was the end of last year where we started seeing June being significant. So we're really closing out a chapter, closing out spring. Oh, you just said yes, because you're moving into a different frequency. And we're going to have a collective timeline shift. Oh my gosh, I have chills again. So we're going to have a collective timeline shift as well. I think it starts launching off at the end of May. And then what we're going to have happen in June, we're going to have a series of energetic events in June. We're not going to fully talk about this June right now. We might do a different video on that. But the end of May is coming in very strongly right now. Closing a chapter, you're saying. And what we're doing is we're taking what we've done in April and May, and you might not even realize what you've done, but all of you know that you've grown, whether it's through difficulty and strife and pain and suffering, and you feel like you haven't even moved forward, but you have, because you've dealt with that. You might have been down in the dredges and felt horrible and energetically sapped, but that's work, you know. You're taking in new energies, or you may feel wonderful and clear and have all these manifestations you're working on. Wherever you're at, you're doing your work, right? It'd be different if you turned a blind eye and said, well, I'm not doing the awakening, and just continued with no self-care, all the old habits, like basically living in the old earth, which we see all around us every day out of our peripheral vision. That's not the case, though. So all of this work that's been done in spring, which, as you say, we very much talked about, which was having the event happen in April, which we discussed in the last video, which was this huge energetic event that happened mid-April-ish and that I talked about. And then we move into May, which has allowed us to gel all the things that we've worked on. And now what's happening in 2021 is the changes are faster and faster and faster. Energetic changes, faster, more closely aligned, and not further in between. We don't have as many breaks, I guess I would say. In this May break was significant because it feels like the rest of the year is just one shift after another. But we know that we're actually moving into a very, very new phase. Oh, you just said Aquarian energy will be ripe. Okay. Oh, ripe for creation and for moving forward and for manifestation. So this is going to really take us to this next stage. So I guess what I'm saying right now is this is the time for us to really, you're saying wrap it up, like draw the picture of what you see for yourself in your journey forward, what you mostly desire, wrap that up, put the bow on it, final touches on that. Oh, and you just said frame it. Now that doesn't mean this isn't going to shift and change, but what is it you see now? Because you will continue to come back to this painting, this drawing. You may add pieces, but you are going to frame it at this point. It doesn't mean you can't come back into a different version of it as well, because we are continuing to grow in vibration in higher dimension. And so what's happening now is this is the focus of what you want for yourself presently in your journey forward. Because remember, this is an inside-out job, first and foremost for yourself, the remaking of you. Which then, as everyone does this, we change the collective journey and we create that new earth. And also visualizing what you wish for the new earth to be. How do you see us living? How do you see yourself living? What do you want for your future? It's about that in that sense. That future-focused manifestation of the best that is to come. And remember Lot's wife from the Bible. You're very much giving me Lot's wife today. Do not be Lot's wife. Just keep moving forward. Oh, and you're telling me this is exactly what the parable was about. That's exactly what the parable was about. Not looking to the crumbling of the old ways, the old constructs, the old belief systems, the institutions that no longer serve us, and the old earth, but looking to the new days and the new earth. Okay, so there you go. That is the channeled conversation that I had. I didn't expect this at all. So that's why, obviously, it had to end up recorded, because I just knew something was coming, but I didn't know whether it was going to be a channel from the Lightkeepers or, again, what you just got here. So I was just stunned by this when this showed up. It very much, what they're showing me right now is the reason they brought this through is Okay, they just said precursor. It's like a precursor to June. And they want us to know of the last week of May's. Oh, they just said stepping forward. Oh, okay, so it's like stepping forward and onto the platform to launch off. Okay, they're also showing me something else. We talked about Superman, but they're showing me a rocket. So like, think of, I don't know, Cape Canaveral, and a rocket launches off. The rocket, the spaceship, rocket, whatever, can't keep going unless it loses all those heat shields, the stuff that falls into the ocean as it goes up higher. It can't keep going if it doesn't. That's our shedding of all our stuff, right? So what we've done is we continue to do this, right? We continue to do this as we move forward, but man, we are rocketing off now. And honestly, this wave of people coming from behind us, this is this platform we're stepping up on. And I just think it's going to be massive, what we're going to see for the awakening. And it does feel, I just took a huge deep breath. It's not like you're going to be personally aware of everyone. I think you're going to feel the energy of it, though. But I think you're going to find there's just a lot of people that are going to start their awakening journey. And I think that's the warning here for us, because we're going to want to think about this. Turn around and go help. No, you don't turn around and go help. You keep moving forward in your journey. They find you. You know how that works, right? But we don't clamor onto them and then become codependent, because we can so easily. And a lot of us have been in codependent, narcissistic, that kind of relationships, right? So we're used to like, But no, this is about staying in your truth, staying in yourself, and assisting them forward as they come to you. Because you know how that magically happens. You meet people who are going through awakening and who assist you in your journey forward in some way. It doesn't mean you'll be with them forever, but you're going to sense the energy of this, and we're going to have the events surrounding it. You're going to feel it collectively. Honestly, even if you don't know a single person in your awareness that's going through awakening, you're going to feel this energy, this shift and change. And we have a timeline shift. So a timeline shift is, I actually have known, I think I've said this in previous videos where I know the exact day this happened. And, they just said it's an up-leveling, right? But within that, and I'll say this again, it's the larger collective timeline shift, and we move with it, but then we find our own timeline, okay? We're always moving in and out of various timelines that we have, but we tend on this general trajectory. But when we move up collectively, and again, this is positive, into and it's not going to look like it, remember, it doesn't always look like it, but I think you're going to feel something different this time. Okay, they just said, the grace of knowing where you are going, because it's going to become more obvious to us, those who are really in the process of this awakening journey. And if you're new to the awakening journey and you're watching this is relevant to you. This helps you understand what's coming down the road. And what I would say to you too is, if you're new to this, reach out to people who can help you or help you understand. You're going to feel it. You're going to know. You're going to get set up with people who will help you. But this momentum of this energy of the collective is what we're really feeling in this, okay? And this is what you're going to notice. It's almost kind of like that 100th monkey conversation. It's like you get enough momentum moving forward. It just takes kind of everyone with it. So there's some, they just said momentum. There is some feeling of momentum on this now. Finally, this is the first time I have felt this. Okay, they just said momentum moving forward, fast. Okay, they just said journeys will become quick, snap of the fingers. Wow, I don't know what that's like. But see, time's weird too. So we all know that. We've had this very strange shift in how we envision time in 2021. I can almost bet you every single one of you has noticed this in some way or another. So anyway, my point in this is, this is very much what we're setting forward for summer. We're going to have a big summer to come. We know June is going to be highly energetic. I still don't quite know. It feels like, well, I wasn't going to do a June update in this video, so I probably should just hold off on that. This is the precursor to June. So very likely they'll bring in a June video for me. But this is important to know for next week. It's like prep time is what they're saying. Well, I'm going to leave you with this today because I did not expect to do a video on this at all. I just thought, I'll do a June energy update. And lo and behold, I wake up this morning and this all starts to happen. So I hope that you have taken something away that helps assist you forward in your journey. And I so thank you for being here today. I'm going to remind you of my services. If you'd like to work with me, I offer all kinds of services to help you on your ascension and awakening journey. Whether it's a single session that you have with me to help understand kind of where you're at on your journey in specific situations, or you want to continue to work with me, I offer all kinds of channeling and mentoring. I also offer distance energy healing along with channeled information. So check it out along with the soul journey session that Celeste and I do, where we talk about your entire soul journey and we give you a good overarching understanding of where you've been, what you've done, past lives, and also answer your questions for your journey forward. So again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.